Hey everybody, I'm here with Jannie Sperling at the ISTS 29 in Brisbane, and just wanted to grab Jannie and talk about some of the research that she's been doing. She presented some results from her PhD thesis, which she's completed. Extremely interesting stuff that ties directly to the feature article on flatback turtles in SWAT 4. And so, Jannie, I was hoping maybe you could just give us a little bit of the context of the research that you presented here.
Well, we sort of know that flatbacks are a bit special. They have the biggest hatchlings compared to the mother, and their hatchlings don't go out in the big ocean like the other sea turtles. They just stay inshore, and so we sort of know that they are special hatchlings. What I wanted to do was sort of look at what they're doing, the female flatbacks are doing while they're in between the nesting, so between the two nesting events, what they're actually doing, moving around or diving or being very active or quite still. And I was especially interested to see how long they were diving for, because we sort of know that they are very good at surviving being forcibly submerged. So when Australian trawlers were catching lots of turtles, they survive better than any other turtles. So I was thinking, maybe there is a reason for that, so that's what I wanted to.
And then what specific types of things did you try to measure to answer that particular question about what's special about flatbacks that allows them to survive being forcibly submerged?
First of all, I put time depth recorders on them, so I could record, how long they dived for, how deep, and basically what they were doing. I also did a little bit of satellite telemetry just to see if they moved out further where there's deeper water or if they stayed pretty close. And I also did a little bit of blood work on them just to see if they're really good at carrying oxygen, or to see sort of how they compare with other species in the physiology.
And tell us what exciting or sort of shocking, surprising findings you got out of your research.
Well, first of all, I was quite surprised that they're just sitting at the bottom quite a bit. They spend a lot of time just diving down, and what we think is just sitting around, because the profile is showing that they're just still. And it's following the tides really well. And secondly, that they were diving for quite long, much longer than other sea turtles like the greens and loggerheads and stuff. So they're diving up to at least an hour and a half. And lots of turtles were diving for more than an hour again and again for days in a row.
It's amazing. You found that across all the different turtles that you studied, and two different locations, right? Yeah. And what kind of depths are they in? Because when we think of other sea turtles and other air breathers that dive and are really good at staying down for a long time, typically we also think they're diving very deeply. What's the deal with flatbacks?
Well, the deepest dive I got was 44 meters, but usually they were within 20 meters, which is very shallow, very shallow. And it was quite interesting, for when I started looking at their physiology, they actually, in some respects, look a bit like leatherback. And leatherbacks, they dive to 1,000 meters. They're sort of known for doing that. And that's depths that flatbacks would never even encounter, because they're staying around the Australian continental shelf, so they wouldn't even be able to dive to that.
So is this sort of a situation where flatbacks and their sort of strange life history of never leaving the shelf in a way sort of prepares them for being able to withstand high trawl pressures?
They sort of didn't really fit into any category, because you're usually talking about shallow diving animals that are, putting all the air in or oxygen in their lungs, and then the deep diving leatherback you can't use the lung because it collapses very quickly, and they have to have all the oxygen in the blood. Well, the flatback was sort of doing a bit of both. It was really good at taking down oxygen in the blood, but there are also signs that they're actually using the lung. So they might just sit really shallow and use all they can, because they don't have to worry about diving deep, and be really good at diving for very long.
That's fascinating. One last question. What is it about flatbacks that makes them so Aussie? It makes them Australia's own sea turtle. What is it, from what you've learned and from what you know about flatback behavior and physiology? Why are they Aussie?
Because they're lazy and just hanging around.
That's not what you said yesterday.
No, I think they are.
Compared to loggerheads, perhaps.
Correct.
They can't stay down really long, and they're weaker when it comes to trawl, bycatch.
Well, they're just good survivors. They're just really strong and really robust. Straight from when they're hatchlings. you know, look at Meineken's work. They're just really strong survivors that can persevere and will probably survive the longest of all of them.
Probably, that's right. And they're lazy and they don't.
And
do
they're
much.
lazy, and that's right.
That's great. Jannie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really fascinating stuff. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And everybody go check out SWAT 4 and read a little bit more about Jannie's work and other stuff about flatback turtles.